So we have a really beautiful tank here with lots of healthy fish, and very interestingly, we've got plants. Now the plants aren't looking as good as normal just because the tank has recently been relocated and the amount of maintenance onto this tank hasn't been as forthcoming as normal, but the plants are normally looking a lot better than this. But it is amazing that there's plants at all, considering there's large silver dollars, there's some whopping big sucking cats, there's a massive Plecostomus, and there's a whole bunch of plant-hungry fish that will often eat plants literally like spaghetti. Yet, in this particular case, there are plants in the tank. And that sort of reminds me of a tank that I was involved in years ago with an old lady who had a Oscar with a whole school of neons. And the Oscar didn't eat the neons, which is obviously extremely unusual and just proves that fish do what fish do. And they really don't do what you expect them to do at times. So a couple of little points about this aquarium just to point out. It has a very good and powerful air stone, which is an absolutely wonderful thing for the fish. But as far as the plants are concerned, if you do start focusing on the plants a little bit more, it can be an idea to turn the air stone off during the daytime, because the plants, especially as you get more of them, are going to be producing oxygen during the day and producing CO2 at nighttime. And just as it's very good to turn the air stone off at daytime, it's also good to turn the CO2 off at nighttime. And then what that's going to do is mean that you're going to have a lot more stability in the adding of various gases. So the other thing is there's the CO2 being released there. We could release it much deeper into the aquarium if possible. That would give us higher diffusion rates as well. Also, another point is with these sorts of tanks, I really recommend gravel cleaning where there's no plant roots. Where there's good cover of plant roots, I do not like to gravel clean, because your gas exchange within the substrate to a degree should really be done by the plant roots themselves. If the plant roots are not there and we don't have gas exchange within the substrate, then you're going to eventually build up sediment within the substrate. The oxygen will not be able to penetrate that sediment, and then next thing you know, you're going to have hydrogen sulfide production and other gases like that from anoxic bacteria. So if you see that going on in your aquarium, or believe it might be going on in your aquarium, the first thing I'll do is put some polyfilter in the filter, because that will remove hydrogen sulfide that could be released. And I would add some aquarium detox, and that will temporarily, over about a period of a month, rid those anoxic zones. I would then start doing some gravel cleans just in the areas where the plants are not. So over time, if you notice the leaves going brown like this, then playing with your CO2 or organic carbon levels may be warranted. Also, make sure you're never putting CO2 into an aquarium unless you know your KH level. You don't want to put it in at 0 KH, otherwise there'll be ramifications for that. And then also making sure that if you notice your leaves going yellow, then you want to increase the fertilizer. And then if you notice your plants completely falling apart, which you would not be occurring in this particular case because your nutrient levels would be quite high, but it might signify that your nutrient levels are low. So anyway, there was a whole lot to absorb just there. But if you do have any questions on any of the stuff that I've just outlined, then by all means put a little note on the bottom of this video.